people, lean closer. Tonight, I will tell you a story that has lived in whispers, hidden behind silence, and locked away in an old diary that refused to die. It is the story of a girl, a village, and a truth that waited 20 years to be spoken. Her name was Amara. Amara was not just any child of Odomo village. From the moment she was born, the midwife says her cry sounded like a song, and when she took her first step, she walked as if she was dancing with the wind. By the time she was a young woman, Amara's beauty was the kind that made even the proudest men bow their heads. But it was not her looks that set her apart. No, it was her spirit. She asked questions no one dared to ask. She laughed in the face of fear. She dreamed of things bigger than the farm, bigger than the river, bigger than the tradition that tied others down. And that boldness, it scared some people, but it drew others in, especially a young man named Obinna. Obinna was the son of the village hunter, strong shoulder, quick eyes, but a gentle heart. Whenever Amara sang by the river, Obinna's steps would slow, and when he greeted her, his voice always softened. The elders said the two of them were inseparable, though their families came from different sides of the village, where old grudges ran deep. And then, one night, a night of heavy moonlight, when the crickets sounded too loudly and the dogs barked at shadows, Amara vanished. No one saw her leave, no one saw where she went. But by morning, her sleeping mouth was empty. Her mother's wail filled the air, and whispers spread faster than the Hamatan fire. Some said the forest spirit took her. Others said she ran away with Obinna. And a dark few, knew the truth, but locked it deep inside. The elders silenced the mat. They told the villagers, "Do not ask, do not speak. The girl is gone, and life must go on." But life did not go on for Amara's mother. She carried her grief like a stone in her chest until her dying day. And Obinna, he left Odomo soon after, carrying his own silence into the world beyond the forest. And so, the story of Amara began a shadow. 20 years passed, and then she came. Her name was Naya. Naya walked into Odomo one morning with a small bag and a face that made the oldest women gasp. Because Naya had Amara's eyes, the same boldness, the same fire, and though no one said it aloud, everyone knew this was Amara's child. But Naya did not come empty-handed. No, she came with something that had been hidden in her mother's chest in the city, an old, worn diary. A diary that carried Amara's handwriting, her voice, her truth. When Naya first opened it, her hands trembled. The first page were filled with songs, dreams, like sketches of flowers and rivers. But then the words grew heavy. She read about the stairs, the jealousy of some women, the disapproval of certain elders, and the quiet threat that came when she refused to marry the man chosen for her. That man was Chief Okore's son, arrogant, proud, and cruel. Amara wrote of how she refused him, how she loved Obinna instead, how she wanted to leave the village and make a life where love, not power, ruled. And then came the final entries, the last night before she vanished. Her words grew sharp, almost frantic. "I feel eyes watching me. I hear footsteps in the night. If I do not write again, know this. It was not the forest that took me. It was man." Naya closed the diary, her heart pounding. She could almost hear her mother's voice, almost see her mother's face, and she knew it. In that moment, she could not leave Odomo without finding the truth. And so her journey began. She went to the old bobod tree where the elders once gathered. She spoke to the women who remembered Amara. She shook her head, refusing to talk. Some wept silently, but one old woman, her back bent, her eyes clouded with age, whispered, "Child, The night your mother disappeared, the dogs barked towards Chief Okoro's compound. Not the forest, but we are told to keep quiet, and so we did for 20 years. Naya's blood boiled. She dug deeper. She found Obinna, now an old man living in the next town. His hands shook when he saw her face. "You were her daughter?" he said, tears rolling down his cheeks. "I begged her not to stay that night. I told her to run, but she said she would face them. She was braver than I." And then the truth came. It was not spirit. It was not the forest. It was Chief Okoro's son. In his anger, in his pride, he had dragged Amara away that night. And what happened after? The villager buried in silence. But the diary, her words, her bloodline, through Naya, they heard return. Now listen very carefully, my people. The climax of this tale came when Naya, holding that diary, stood beneath the same boboard tree where her mother once sang. The villagers gathered, drowned by whispers of the truth, and Naya read aloud her mother's final word. The crowd whispers, the silence of 20 years shattered. Old women wailed. Men lowered their heads in shame, and Chief Okoro's son, now old and frail, trembled where he stood. The truth had finally come to light. Naya's voice broke as she said, "My mother did not vanish into the forest. She was stolen by man, betrayed by silence. But today, her voice returned. Through me, through this diary, and through all of you who chose to remember." And with that, the story of Amara was no longer a shadow. It was a fire. It was the truth. It was freedom. And so I tell you, my people, secrets do not stay buried. Truth walks slowly, but it always arrives. Even if it must wait 20 years, even if it must be carried in the trembling hands of a daughter holding her mother's word. And that is the tale of Amara, the village girl who disappeared, and Naya, the daughter who gave her back her voice. If this story moved you, my friend, do not let it die here. Like this video, share it with those who love stories of mystery and truth, and subscribe so that you can sit with us again when the next tale rises from the shadows. Because remember, some stories are not just told, they are live. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys in my next video. Don't forget to drop your comment in the comment section what you think about this story.